All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Average Joes Who Know podcast. We weren't here last week for Thanksgiving, and we would have talked about the upcoming game, Ohio State versus that team up north. And I assume anybody who's watching this probably watched that game because 99% of our followers live in the state of Ohio. And I don't know if anybody was as pissed or still is as pissed as I am at this moment still. Um, Grossly incompetent um, offensive game plan, um, the way we played, everything about the game was terrible. Matt, go ahead and give your like initial like overarching thoughts, and then we're really going to dig in because this is probably going to be one of the only things we talk about today, and you're probably going to see the hands come out a couple times today.
Um, I don't know. Like, honestly, like the first half was bad. I just back in my mind, I'm like, at some point we're just gonna break this open. At some point we're gonna get a long touchdown pass. We're gonna go up 7, and then defense will make a stop. We're gonna score again. And we'll just break it open. It just never happened because we kept getting 0 yards. We just kept running the ball right into their 2 stud D tackles, and with our makeshift offensive linemen. And it didn't make. It baffled my mind. It baffled me. Unless they were we have it later. I mean, I didn't bring it up now. I think Will Howard's concussed. That is the only fathomable reason of why we kept our game plan the way we did, because they thought he was concussed and then he could throw the ball. I mean, hell, I think a concussed Will Howard could throw the ball to 3 of the best receivers in the country with that awful secondary without the best corner in the country. I mean, it was the worst offensive game plan I think I've ever seen. And I watched Matt Canada coach offense for 3 years.
I mean, I don't think I could have played any worse at quarterback if they'd have just put me in Jeremiah Smith. All he had to do is just throw it up to him. He had zero targets in the second half. Zero targets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't even throw the ball his way. And he was the freshman of the year, and he was in the Big Ten, and he was the receiver of the year in the Big Ten as a freshman. And you don't even target him the whole game. The game plan. I mean, what the hell are we doing? Zone run, 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 inside zone, right at 2 future defensive tackles, and you got, 77, Tegra Shabola. He's freaking terrible. I mean, he just ate his lunch all day. He's awful. I mean, there was a draw play. That draw play we ran on 3rd and 10. I was like, oh, okay, this might actually work. And then Shabola just doesn't even touch him. It would have worked if he would have just at least got his way.
But early in the game, we throw the pick. We're back up on our own, too. It's 3rd and 8. Yeah, you can pass it, but it's probably not the best spot to pass it early in the game. And that side, you don't decide to run it, and you throw a hitch that they're playing up, and the guy just grabs it, blink, takes it to 2. And they get their first touchdown off of that.
Well, you know what it was Ryan Day trying to prove how tough his team.
That's exactly what it was.
All because Hairball pretty much said his teams were soft without saying it, and then Lou Holt said we weren't tough, and so he's got this idea. He's got this idea that we have to run the ball and we got to be tough. We got to be tough. We got to be tough. Well, your offensive line isn't built to be tough. Your offensive line is soft as Charmin, softer than a baby's ass, and it's like, what are you doing? Your game plan is to run at their 2 best players, and then you're running zone. One of the plays was an outside zone, and so the left tackle had to reach block. Okay, it makes sense maybe if the guy's lined up outside of the guard, right? If that's where the defensive tackle is, the D tackle's lined up inside of the left guard, and we expect our left tackle, Donovan Jackson, who's a great player. He's going to play in the NFL. He probably won't play tackle. He'll probably play guard because he had to move out there because we got the makeshift offensive line. You expect your left tackle to reach block a guy who's lined up inside of your guard, and then if you watch the play, it's just straight up terrible. Somebody broke it down, Menace to Sports maybe, and the left guard doesn't help out at all. Nothing. He just expects the left tackle to reach block. You can't reach block a defensive tackle who's lined up inside of the guard.
Yeah. Mason Graham's draft stock, I mean, he was already a first rounder, but it might have just skyrocketed like 10 picks up. I mean, he made him look like prime Aaron Donald that game. I mean, it was just, I saw the quote. So our old running backs coach, Alford, he went to Michigan. Apparently Wink Martindale, Michigan's DC, went up to him after the game and was like, what the hell was that? What were they thinking? That was the easiest game I've ever had to call, pretty much. Because they didn't change anything, and nothing they did actually worked.
Well, the passing worked, but we didn't pass the ball. And then when we had to pass the ball at the end of the game, they knew we were going to pass the ball because that's all we could do because we had to, and they were just ready for it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't. The zone scheme, the inside outside zone scheme, I don't like it in the first place. But then you're running it against two defensive tackles who know what they're doing, going to go to the NFL, and
they have a bust secondary.
I don't understand why, if you wanted to run the ball so bad, why didn't we ever go to gap run scheme, down block, pull a guard? It works.
Is it in our game plan? Is that Chip Kelly's style? No.
Oh, no. Chip Kelly's a dumbass. He should leave too. He should leave. They don't even need fired. Just leave.
Here's the thing. Here's what me and my dad were talking about. Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are finesse guys. Sherrod Moore, Michigan, are tough. They're tougher. They're physical. That's not what Chip Kelly and Ryan Day are. And they tried to play Michigan's game, and that just played right into Michigan's style, and that's why we didn't do anything. And that's why I hate Chip Kelly's offense, because it was cool in the Pac-12 at Oregon when he put up 30, 40 points a game, but it's Oregon. That's in the Pac-12. Pac-12 defenses suck. And that's what they do out there. They score points. And that was 12 years ago. Like, you're not at Ohio State to be a finesse guy. I know we have these receivers, and I love them. But you have Travion and you have Quinshawn. Mm-hmm. And it just if you're going to be a finesse guy, you play to your strength. Don't do what they want. Don't try to be them. It's just dumb. And it's just an ego thing.
You have to play to your strengths, and we didn't do it at all.
Yeah.
If you pass the ball well, that opens up the run. We are a pass-first offense, and we have been since Ryan Day took over, which I hate because I think it sucks.
Yeah.
That's why we haven't won a national championship, because our ground game and our offensive line has been terrible. That's another thing. Offensive line coach, his ass needs to be grass. See you later. Adios, Chico. No more. No mas. I'm tired of him. He sucks. Offensive line has been terrible. He can't recruit. We're going to sign maybe 3 offensive linemen in this upcoming class. I think 2 or 3 signed today. We've got the chance to maybe flip that guy that's going to Tennessee. But why the hell would you want to come?
I've heard he's not going to flip.
Why the hell would you want to come play for Justin Fry, who I don't even know who the hell he is? I mean, he's Ryan Day's best buddy, his best man. That's the only reason he's still a coach.
They're going to try. Apparently, Ohio State in this upcoming portal class is going to try to go after 2 tackles and 3rd for depth.
Well, what needs to happen is Ryan Day needs to be fired, or he just leaves, is what needs to happen. I know Ryan Day said, we're going to address it in the portal. We're going to address it. It's going to be addressed really soon. Shut your mouth.
He's not getting fired, I promise you. He's not.
Well, he won't get fired, but he's going to leave.
York, the AD, already gave his endorsement. The boosters already
said that was a bullshit endorsement. He did the same thing for Jimbo Fisher. He said what he had to say.
The boosters are already saying they don't want to pay the buyout. I'm telling you, he's not getting fired no matter what. He may leave. You're right. He may leave.
He can go to the NFL. I hope he does.
He's not going to the NFL. Not after. No, he's not going to the NFL. What GM is going to hire him?
Well, I'm sure there's dumb enough GMs out there. He can go to the Bears. GM's a dumbass.
Yeah, but the Bears. I'm telling you, Bears aren't going to hire Ryan Day. They're going to. No, that fan base would probably shoot the front office. Because, I mean, I don't know. That was probably the most frustrating Ohio State game I think I've ever watched. From start, we went around the field, then we had to take a field goal, and then I feel bad for Fielding. I do. But you're brought to Ohio State for one reason. That's to make field goals because you're a D1 kicker at one of the best schools in the country. And that's 2 years now. You've missed 3 total field goals in the game. I mean, come on. And it wasn't like they're 53-yarders. They're under 40.
Mm-hmm.
High school kickers make those.
So I said Cale Clifton could have made both of those kicks.
It just – and apparently they're sticking with him for the playoff. I'm like, is our whatever backup, is he that bad?
I don't know. I think Cale Clifton could suit up right now and kick better than Jaden Fielding does.
You saw what Michigan, they got their kicker out of the portal. That kid's a dog. He doesn't miss.
Well, Alabama's kicker was playing at
Miami last year. Miami, Ohio.
Miami of Ohio, and he wanted like $60K.
Yeah, and Ohio State apparently said
no. Ohio State didn't. They said no.
Right in their backyard. But no, they kept with Fielding. And I feel bad for the kid. It's not his fault we lost. It is not Jaden Fielding's fault we lost. Because either way, if it makes both those, we score 16 points. I know that's more than Michigan scored, but Michigan probably ends up scoring a touchdown in that last drive anyways because they were running right down our throat, so it didn't matter. But it's not Fielding's fault. As even though Ryan Day blamed Fielding at his press conference because he's a jackass, it's not Fielding's fault. It's the offense's inept ability to move the ball against a banged-up Michigan team in the back seven. Not the front four, but the back seven.
Well, the problem is the coaches are inept. Your offense looks inept, and the players look inept because your coaches are inept. And you can't win games with inept coaches. It's just not. It's not possible. You can't win big games.
The defense, they played their butts off
for as long as they could.
They just had one bad play, and that was the 3rd and 6 run play where they had him in the backfield and didn't wrap up, and he obviously broke it for a big gain that got him field goal range, but that was it. I mean, they let him go Michigan go down the field a couple times, and then they make plays. Jack Sawyer made the pick. Obviously, it was one of the worst throws I've ever seen. All he had to do was just float it up. That guy, there was nobody around him. I mean, it was honestly one of the – I don't know. I still don't understand how he threw a pick. All he had to do was float it up to him, and Jack Sawyer did the right thing. He dropped back and picked it, but – Michigan's offense is terrible. Let's be honest. They're terrible. But their defense did their job. They got turnovers. It's just I don't know. I still believe Ohio State can win that championship. They're so loaded. They are. I know you don't think so.
They can't win because of the coach.
I know.
I don't care how good they are. You can only go as far as your coach can take you.
But they got time to prepare. They're not playing. They stood toe-to-toe with Oregon in Autzen. They should have beat them. One more second on the clock, they beat them. Obviously, it was also bad clock management by Day, but they're going to probably get a home playoff game at this point. Assuming everything goes to plan, they're going to get a home playoff game, and they'll probably host an SEC team. Tennessee or Georgia comes to town, or Bama or whoever. But or things go somehow things could really go away. We'll get the 5 seed, but it's possible.
Shit would have to happen.
Oregon beats the hell out of Penn State, like I think it's going to happen.
Notre Dame's already ahead of us.
You're right. Notre Dame is got your Notre Dame. Notre Dame can't get a top 4 seed because they're not in the conference. I hate Notre Dame. I hope they get stomped. It's game 1.
I hope we get stomped because Ryan Day will get fired then.
You don't hope, because when game time comes, you're going to be
cheering for him, but I wouldn't be mad if we lost. I would be mad, but I wouldn't. I would be mad, but at the same time, I wouldn't be mad. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense in my head because I would be pissed that we lost, but at the same time, I wouldn't be mad because Ryan Day would be gone.
But either way, I still believe this team can win a national championship. I do. They're so talented. They are. And if they – apparently they had a meeting on Sunday after the game. It was players and Ryan Day. That's all it was. It was all the players and Ryan Day. I don't know how much of this is true. It's just what I saw. Apparently it got a little heated, but everybody at the end hugged it out. It was good. So I don't know how much of it's true. That's just what I saw. So I don't know. You got 3 weeks to prepare. First playoff games December. It's either going to be December 20th or December 21st because there's one game on Friday, 2-3 on Saturday. You don't know who you're preparing for till Sunday after the conference championship games, but you have time. Guys can get healthy. Power can get in the concussion protocol for a couple weeks. I'm like, we're not going to get any offensive linemen back, but
here's the thing. Ohio State had time to prepare for the bowl game last year, and we saw how that went. Ryan Day is 2-4 in bowl games, and he's 1-4 in the college football playoff. He's won one college football playoff game. If an SEC team comes to Ohio Stadium, they will beat our ass up front.
No
and
way.
They beat the shit out of us.
You think Tennessee's coming to the shoe and beating us?
Yeah, I think their defensive line will make us look like Swiss cheese.
I don't know if you do what we did Saturday, yes. But
exactly. Who knows what the hell our game plan is going to be? Who knows what the hell they're going to trot out there?
We should have beat Oregon. We beat Penn State. We beat the hell out of Indiana. I mean,
Indiana's frauds.
They're pretty pissed off. They put up 66 on Purdue. And
Purdue's the worst team in the Big Ten. So
yeah, Ohio State only put up 49 on them. 42.
I don't. Well, let's talk about the brawl after the game. Okay, flag planting is going to be banned by the NCAA before next year.
For sure. That's it happened. How many times did it happen Saturday? It's like everybody saw the noon game, and all of a sudden it just became a thing. It never happens.
Every rivalry game.
Yeah, it was just kind of out of nowhere. Because Michigan planted the flag last time they played at Ohio State because of what Baker did in 2000 whatever. And I think Ohio State did the right thing because last time it happened, nobody did anything. Everybody came at the players like, you're not going to defend yourself. Like, that's embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. And then they do it this time. People are like, why are you going, like, now you want to fight and all this? I'm like, what do you want them to do?
Yeah. So that's another thing. You got Khalil Mullins, I think's his name. Khalil. I don't really give a shit. He's a baby back bitch. So what happened was he gets on there after the fight and he's like, man, they need more class and all this and that, blah, 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 blah. You got to learn how to lose. How about you learn how to freaking win? Win with class.
Yeah.
There's a thing called winning with class. You win, you shake the other team's hand. You can go talk shit on social media. I don't care what you say on social media, but you don't come into somebody's house. How would you like if I came into your house and just pissed everywhere? You'd be pissed. You would be pissed. If we went into Michigan's house and planted a flag in the middle of their field, they would be pissed. They were pissed when Ohio State came out in the Woody Hayes era and tore the freaking banner down. They were pissed.
Yeah.
As they rightfully should have been.
Yeah.
You can't be disrespectful in somebody else's house and not expect them to try to come beat your ass. I would have tried to beat your ass too. You come into my house and plant your flag in the middle of I don't care if I won or lost. It's a level of disrespect, and that's why they do it. That's why Baker Mayfield did it. That's why who the hell even did it for Michigan? Just some random Joe who'd probably been sitting on the sideline itching his jockstrap the whole game, doing nothing.
It was just like they came out of the tunnel, I think, with it.
Well, my thing is Khalil Mullins says we got to be more classy. He was in the midst of the brawl against Michigan State, stomping on somebody. So I don't want to hear about class, and I don't want to hear about fighting from your bitch ass. Shut up.
And then you got Ryan Day just standing there looking in.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, are we serious?
You happened.
Sharon Moore's on, like, he's pushing guys back, like, trying to stop it. You said what? James Laurinaitis in the middle, getting guys back, and Day is standing there, just like an idiot. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You see something happening. Who cares what happened? Go do something.
You are the head football coach. Your job is to control your players, control your team, and he failed to do that. And he just stands there, and then he goes. He has the audacity to be like, "What happened? There's a fight going on. What do you think happened?" I mean, how stupid can you be? And then he stands there and watches Jack Sawyer. I mean, I love Jack Sawyer. That dude loves Ohio State because he grew up in the state of Ohio, and he would do anything for Ohio State, and he played his ass off. I don't care what anybody says.
That was one of the best games I think he's had.
He played his ass off. And people are like, well, he didn't have any sacks or anything. Michigan threw the ball like 12 times.
Yeah, and their ball was out pretty quickly usually because there's just little stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so he played his ass off. He loves Ohio State. And I don't condone fighting. But like I said, there's a level of disrespect that comes with planting your flag in somebody else's. It's just like the idea that, oh, we won the game, so we can do whatever the hell you want. Oh, so you won the game, so now you can just come over and spit in my face? Take my girlfriend out on a date? I mean, what are we doing here? Just because you won the game doesn't mean you get to do whatever the hell you want. They need to learn how to lose with class. Learn how to win with class.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Both teams were in the wrong.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Ohio State's necessarily in the wrong. Somebody comes in your house, plants a flag in the middle of your field, you should be pissed about it. Yeah, you should have won the game. But it's. And then you got Joel Klatt like, oh no, this is something that happens every year. No, it doesn't. We don't plant the flag every year. That's not a thing. Never has been. So shut up, Joel. And then people are like, well, Gus Johnson's dick riding Ohio State. No, he's not. He's right. You don't come in and plant your flag in somebody's. There was a dude that was saying pretty much the same stuff. That's where I got some of the stuff from, is like taking your girlfriend out on it. Should they be able to take your girlfriend out on a date? I don't know who it is, but if you want to watch it, I'll find it because it's a great video and it's freaking hilarious. Because the dude's like saying that same stuff, like, oh, you won the game, so what, you get to spit in my face now? Take my girlfriend out on the date? It's pathetic. And then, like you said, Ryan Day just standing there, doesn't even know what's happening. What happened? Well, I said after the game, you happened. You caused this because you just lost. The most embarrassing loss in probably Ohio State history, because that team up north was terrible. That team they were not good. Like, what'd they throw for? 62 passing yards? They can't even throw a forward pass.
I told our friend Cooper that I would read his quotes that he texted me during the game today. He said, when Chip Kelly sees a run play get smothered by the opponent's defense 3 times consecutively, he gets the crazy idea to run the exact same play a 4th time. He doesn't call the passing game, even with some of the greatest receivers in college football. He is the problem. He is an idiot.
It's I don't know, man. I'm still like, I don't even know what happened. Like, it's just like, how do you lose to that team? I mean, what if they had barely over 300 yards of total offense? I don't even know if they did.
We had under 3. We had about 2.
We had 200 something, which is terrible. I mean, just terrible.
I mean, what? Oregon put up 38 on them. Indiana put up 24.
Yeah.
Back. Did Rourke play that day, or was he still hurt?
I don't know if he did or not.
That was either right when he cut back from his injury, or he was still hurt. But either way, they beat him. Illinois beat him. Texas put up 30 plus on him.
Yeah, it was the worst Ohio State game I've ever watched in my life. Well, I didn't get to watch the Purdue game when they got beat because the power was out when Urban Meyer was there.
We lost.
We got beat. We got killed, but at least we scored more than 20 points.
I think we scored 24 or 21, but
we got beat 49-24 or something like that. But we still scored.
That game and the Iowa game, we got 55 against Iowa. That was bad. Yeah.
But
that was good.
All right, let's get into why Ryan Day, in my eyes, should be fired. Well, hell, I'd have fired him on the field after the game, especially when he was standing there. If I was Ross, how do you say his last name?
York, I think.
York. I'd have fired him. I just saw him standing there. What happened? What happened? You're fired. That's what I'd have said. See ya. Pack your bags, get your shit, leave. He's just not a big game coach.
No.
1-4 against that team up north, and the one game that he won was his very first year, and he had all of Urban Meyer's recruits.
He got born on third base.
Yeah, born on third base. He was born on third base. I don't care what anybody says. And now he's 3-6 against top five, but one of those teams was a James Franklin team.
One,
James Franklin.
two, right? He beat James
I
Franklin
don't know.
twice.
It
Top five.
probably, but James Franklin can't win big games either, and so that is
Only guy
probably the
against
easiest.
Franklin.
That's probably the easiest top five game to win is against James Franklin because James Franklin is Ryan Day before.
Oregon's gonna destroy him. Dan Lanning versus James Franklin. Are we kidding?
People are saying that Penn State's going to win. Like, what are we talking about?
ESPN the line is Oregon, but like ESPN's whatever like computer predictor like percentage has like Penn State like 58. I'm like, what?
But they're idiots. But he's just not a big game guy. The Indiana team, should they have really been top five? I don't know. But they were.
Solid. I mean, they're a good football team, I think.
But he's like I said, he's 1-4 in the college football playoff. Who did we beat?
We got crushed by Bama. We lost to Georgia by 1. That was partly his fault. How many timeouts do we have at the end of that game?
That was his fault. That's another thing. He needs to be fired because he doesn't know how to manage a game either.
Oh, close games. Oh, what did my dad say? Oh, he said, nobody's butt is tighter, right? You couldn't fit an M&M in Ryan Day's asshole right now.
Yeah, that's true. He's so puckered up, tight, and it's just he's soft. He's soft as the other side.
Yes,
I don't even know. He's just soft.
He's from what? New Hampshire, New Jersey.
Yeah.
He's not an Ohio guy. I mean, if you look, you send me the thing. All of our coaches that are from Ohio, the record versus that team up north, awesome. If you look at the coaches that aren't from Ohio, the record's awful. Ryan Day, Cooper, and Earl Bruce. No, yeah.
Woody Hayes from Ohio. He was 16, 11, and 1. Earl Bruce is from Maryland. He was 5-4. So that's the best out of people who weren't born in Ohio. John Cooper from Tennessee. Ryan Day is John Cooper 2.0, and from talking to my dad, that's the most true thing ever. He said this is exactly how he felt when John Cooper was there because they had all the recruits, all the big name guys, and then you get to that team up north and you lose. John Cooper was 10-2, 10-1. Jim Tressel from Mentor, Ohio, was 9-1. Bickle's not on here. He's from Ohio. He was 0-1, but that year shouldn't count. That we still had the bowl ban. Nobody wanted to coach, and Fick took it over, took the L. But Urban Meyer, Toledo, Ohio. He was born in Toledo, 7-0. He lived in Ohio. Somebody was like, "Well, he's not. He didn't live in Toledo." Well, he lived in Ohio. Just shut the hell up. He was born in Toledo. He lived in Ohio. He's a Buckeye. He's 7-0. Ryan Day from Manchester, New Hampshire, 1-4. Ohio born, 32, 12, and 1. Non-Ohio born, 7, 18, and 1. Those guys just get it more. There's like, you're born in Ohio, your parents are Ohio State fans, you're just you have something inside of you that some idiot from New Hampshire doesn't have, some idiot from Tennessee doesn't have. Earl Bruce, like I said, was 5-4, which is mediocre at best.
The only reason probably Hayes' record is so close, 16-11. I mean, it's both Schembeckler teams, so. I mean, this team was really good.
He still was 16-11. That's pretty good.
I mean, right now, Ryan Day's on pace for 2-10. He's 1-4. He's pretty much right there on pace for 2-10.
He is John Cooper 2.0.
I don't think he'll make it to 2-10 as Cooper did, but he's on pace.
No.
Here's the thing I think about Day. I don't necessarily want him back. I really don't. But he's just not going to get fired. And I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think he's going to leave. Because why would he? Where else is he going to go? North Carolina? He's not going to leave. If they don't fire him, he's not going to leave. There's no reason. His contract's way too – he's going to make a ton of money. He's going to want to, avenge himself. I mean, as any person would. But he's not going to leave. But if for some reason he gets fired or he leaves, I think I don't think I want Vrabel. I don't think Vrabel comes. I think Vrabel likes the NFL too much, from what I've heard. I've seen on Twitter that Urban's team, around him, his camp or whatever, says he would be interested in coming back. Because basically, from what I've gathered, he got pretty much forced out last time by the old AD and stuff. Well, the old AD is gone.
Want to leave.
I don't think Urban really wanted to leave. He had health problems, all that stuff. But I don't think Urban really wanted to leave. And part of me does think he'd come back, but also, why would he? He's getting old. He gets to enjoy himself on Big Noon and all that stuff, but I think he does love coaching, and I think he doesn't want to end his coaching career with what happened with the Jaguars, that mess that happened with them. But
he loves football.
Yeah.
He loves coaching football, and he loves Ohio State.
What about John Gruden? He's Ohio born.
John Gruden.
I don't see Gruden doing college football.
No, absolutely.
That'd be really fun.
Well, so the thing with people are like, why would you fire Ryan Day? You're going to lose all the recruits. Everybody's going to leave. People are going to transfer away. I do not care. Let them leave. If you don't want to be here, go ahead and leave right now.
I was happy to see
you are the problem. If you don't want to be here that bad, then go ahead and leave.
Take your shit and leave. All of our recruits said, pumped them up to be here even more. So I did like that, seeing that.
Well, it's the idea that nobody is bigger than the Block O. Ryan Day is not bigger than the Block O. So if he is his culture, there needs to be a culture shift in the program because our offensive line is soft. Our defensive line has honestly been soft. I don't know why the McDonald kid doesn't play more because he's a tank in the middle of the field. That dude is a beast. But on both sides of the line, you're soft, offense and defense. Yeah, you have great athletes, but they can't do anything if the guys up front aren't doing their job first. It all comes back to the offensive line, and it all comes back to the head coach when your offensive line sucks. And so everybody's biggest problem is we're going to lose recruits. I do not care. Let every single one of them leave. Let every single one of them. There will be people who stay. And you want to know who they'll be? The people who want to play for Ohio State. They want to be there. They don't want to be somewhere else. It's like we had some kid flip commitment today, Oford or whatever, top 5 recruit or something. I don't care. Leave. Go to Oregon. That's where you want to be. If you don't want to be here, you got other places. Huh?
The corner?
Yeah, Offered, whatever the hell his name is.
Oh, it's a flip walk. I didn't see him the flipping.
Huh? Yeah, he flipped.
Where did Oregon?
He flipped to Oregon. I don't care where you go. If you don't want to play for Ohio State, you're not gonna. If you come there because I'm gonna get money here, blah 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 blah. You're not. It's the same idea that like NFL guys once they get there, they're like, oh, I made it. Some guys like, oh, I made it. I can just chill now. Who cares how hard I play? Guys are like, oh, I made it. I'm getting paid. Some of those guys, the guys still want to make it to the league, but they're in it for themselves. They're not there for the team. They're not there for Ohio State.
We'll see how good Underwood does at Michigan. How much is he getting now? 10.5, 11 million?
A lot. I heard 13.
At least our recruit, St. Clair, Ohio State all the way.
Ohio boy. He's from Ohio. That's another thing. The 2012 recruiting class, I think it was, they won the national championship with Urban Meyer. It was like 15 of the 25 signees were from Ohio. Now, I'm not saying you have to sign everybody in Ohio, but you should be getting the top 5. Top 5 in Ohio should stay in Ohio, at least the top 5.
About our 2021 class, the only one of them to beat Michigan was Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Yeah, he left.
And then went to beat Michigan with Texas. But
so I don't care if we lose recruits. So my replacements would be 1A, Vrabel. I know, he doesn't want to recruit. He doesn't want to recruit. No, he doesn't want to be an assistant coach. He doesn't want to do the recruiting that assistant coaches and position coaches have to do. He can relegate as a head coach. That's what head coaches do. Yeah, when you want to get a big guy, that's when you really step in. But to get a 3-star offensive lineman from or a 4-star offensive lineman from Ohio. I mean, yeah, you talk to the kid a couple times and you're like, hey, man, we'd really love to have you. We'd really love to develop you and make you become a better player and play for the Buckeyes. But you don't have to do the same stuff that he didn't like to do when he was a position coach. That he's 1A. 1B is Urban Meyer. Just because, well, one, the losing to Michigan would stop right away. It would stop. It would come to a halt. Urban Meyer does not know how to lose to Michigan, and he will instill that into his players. It's not about how much you hate Michigan. I saw this. It's not about how much you hate Michigan. Somebody that played for Tressel talked about it's how much you love Ohio State. That's the important thing. Yeah, you hate Michigan, but it's because of how much you love Ohio State and how much you know the history of the game and what it means to people in the state, because people are pissed. I'm pissed, obviously. And so I think Urban and Vrabel both know that really well. Vrabel's record as a player against Michigan wasn't very well, but who did he play for? John Cooper. He played for Ryan Day 2.0. So I think he knows what not to do. And obviously Urban, he knows what to do because he's done it. And, the culture change with Urban would be night and day from what it is now, which doesn't make sense to me because Ryan Day saw what Urban Meyer did, and his teams are still soft. Charmin soft.
Ryan Day's just not the same person Urban was.
No,
I mean, Urban gave the reins today. Urban's pick was Ryan Day. So that's a little disappointing. But I don't know, maybe. But I know it's like it's just not who Ryan Day is.
No,
he's a quarterback from New Hampshire. He's a quarterback's coach in the NFL. And he's buddy with Chip Kelly, who's an idiot. And I mean, honestly, I think something that hurt Ohio State that probably doesn't get talked about. I think Bill O'Brien would have been great at Ohio State.
Yeah.
I really hate that he left. I love Bill O'Brien. I mean, he's done great things. He turned Penn State around after the Paterno era. He had the Texans rolling. He was obviously really good with the Patriots, with Brady. I think at some point he'll get BC rolling a little bit, make them an ACC contender. I think he would have been awesome at OC. Tough guy,
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously he left to go to BC to be the head coach, and then you get Chip Kelly to come from UCLA. And at first I was kind of on board with it. I'm like, you know what? He was a great play caller with Oregon, and times have changed. And they tried too hard to be tough and physical and just played right into Michigan's game. They didn't change. That was the most frustrating part. I get it. If you want to try that in the first half, man, we're going to smash mouth, and it's not working. Why keep doing it? The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And they kept doing it over and over again. It just didn't make any sense. And then, they looked confused at the end of the game when they had to pass it. Like, nobody knew what to – I guess Howard just, looked confused, and maybe it's and Gus. But they just didn't know what to do. And it was just mind-boggling. And it's like every other fan that doesn't know that much about football knows that what we're doing is stupid. But yet we keep doing it. You're paid. Chip Kelly's very high paid to be an OC. Mm-hmm. He is highly paid. And it just didn't make any sense. And honestly, he hasn't been that great all year. It's not like we're an offensive juggernaut. It's not like we're putting up 50 points a game against some of these crap Big Ten schools. I mean, obviously we score a lot. 30 points, but it's just – I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. My replacements would be Vrabel and Meyer. And then after that, I would say
if Fickle could have got Wisconsin going, I would have said Fickle, but
he
hasn't really done anything with Wisconsin, so I can't really say bring him back. I mean, I love Fickle, but
I would say I wouldn't be mad if they stole Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame.
That's what I was going to say. I love Marcus Freeman.
People are like, he won't leave Notre Dame, blah, 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 blah. Kelly left Notre Dame because it's harder to recruit there.
Yeah, because it's so hard to get into Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. It's hard to recruit.
They don't care. Yeah, they do not care. If you're not a good academic,
Yeah, they won't.
If you're not a student athlete, then athlete, they do not care.
And
Freeman's a Buckeye. Freeman played at Ohio State.
I would love to see Marcus Freeman be our head coach. I think he would be awesome at Ohio State. Because I always look at what he's done with Notre Dame. They lost to NIU earlier in the year. They were completely written off, as they should be. And I still think they might still be a little overrated right now. But it's hard to say that when they're killing. I mean, they're destroying teams. Every team they play, besides you. I mean, obviously the scoreboard looked like they destroyed USC, but in reality, USC was going to tie the game, and the backup quarterback threw a pick six, and another pick six. It was like watching Jameis Winston Monday night. But I would love Marcus Freeman to be our head coach. He's tough.
After Freeman, I would consider Hartline.
I don't see Hartline as a head coach.
No, I don't think he's a head coach yet. But I wouldn't be like pissed off if they hired him. And then another Ohio guy is Matt Campbell at Iowa State. He's from Ohio.
Right.
That's what I want. Somebody who is a Buckeye. We tried Ryan Day from New Hampshire, and he's supposed to be offensive guru. Blah 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 blah. Well, he's not an offensive guru. I wouldn't be mad at Matt Campbell. So I've got 5 guys here that I wouldn't be mad at any of them. Vrabel and Meyer. If one of those two I would be delighted with.
My first offer would be to Urban Meyer. That'd be my first offer.
No, first offer is to Vrabel.
No.
Yes.
But it's Urban Meyer, dude.
Yeah, but he's 60 years old. I love Urban Meyer.
How long did Saban? How old Saban?
He's in his 70s, I think.
Yeah, so Meyer 10 years.
Let's see.
I mean, I don't think he'd be there 10 years, but I mean, 7-0 against. He never lost to them. Most of those games.
73.
Yeah, so he retired at 72.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about most of those games Urban Meyer coached, we throttled him.
Mm-hmm. There was a couple close ones, but
obviously, but the double overtime game was 2 versus 3. Is it his first year? We went to Michigan and we won by 1. Michigan wasn't very good.
But that's another thing about Meyer is he lives and dies with every single play. Ryan Day does not. The only time I've ever seen Ryan Day fired up on the sideline was against Georgia, and then he pissed down his leg towards the end when we drove all the way down the field, and then he decided we were going to settle for a 52-yard field.
Ryan Day bent over, not even pissed off, just looking like he's about to cry more than you see him actually getting excited. And
yeah.
And he's like it seems to me like he's tried to play some like tough guy act the last couple of years. Like when he called out Lou Holtz if they beat Notre Dame. Really, dude? Where's Lou Holtz at? He's probably asleep because he's 90.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a hell of a better coach than you ever are. So
yeah.
And he's right. That's the thing. He's right. He wasn't wrong.
Right. He was right. That's the
only
thing.
reason we beat Notre Dame because they had 10 guys on the field.
Yeah. That's the thing. Meyer lived and died with every play. At that game where Curtis Samuel got the touchdown, you can watch Urban Meyer just like collapse after the game like, yes, we did it. Like he put his all into that game. And I just don't see that out of Ryan Day. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just not as animated as Urban Meyer, but it sure as hell doesn't look like he put his all into the game.
I really just appreciate if Ryan Day would stop trying to. I don't know why. It really pissed me off to see his beard so black because he dyes it. It's weird. I just think it's weird.
I'd appreciate if he left so we didn't have to fire him and pay his buyout.
That would be nice because his buyout's insane. I think it's very high.
The thing is, I think if he loses in the first round or the second round, if he loses in the first or second round, I don't see how you can keep him. I don't. And I think if Ohio State really wants to get rid of him, and people do want to get rid of him, and there's a lot of chatter, and people want him gone. Fans want him gone. A majority of fans want him gone. And the university is going to feel that. Ohio State can find the money buy him out, and then pay somebody else. They can find the money. The money is there. There's somebody rich that went to Ohio State that can help pay it off because they love the Buckeyes. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't make the decisions. I don't think he's going to be. I think Ryan Day will be the head coach of Ohio State in 2025. That's my guess. That's my prediction. He will be the head coach game 1 next year.
If he's the head coach and we don't win the national championship, I will not watch an Ohio State game next year.
You're a liar. Shut up.
I'm serious.
You are a liar. You
I'm
will watch
serious.
it. No, you're not.
I'll watch the rest of this year just because I want to see why he should be fired, because I know for a fact we will not win the national championship because he can't take us there. We'll lose to somebody based off his coaching decisions. And if he's the head coach next year, game 1,
you're gonna watch because what else are you gonna do? What
no,
else are you
I
gonna
will
do?
not watch. I'll watch somebody else. I'll start going to Ohio University games. That's what I'll do.
Liar.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll shake on it. I won't watch. If he is the head coach, game 1.
If we lose, if we win a natty and he's the head coach, you're still not watching?
No, if he wins the natty, then I'll watch.
What about go to the semifinals? Semifinals loses by like 10.
I don't know. I really don't know.
First, second round, though, you're done.
First and second round, I'm done with him. First round for sure. We'll make a deal. First, if he loses in the first round and he is the head coach of Ohio State next year, I will not watch a game.
What if we lose because of the defense this time? Not his offense, but the defense.
I don't care. He's the head coach. It comes back to him. Comes back to him.
Watch next year. I will make sure. I will FaceTime you every game.
First round. If we lose in the first round and he is the head coach, I will not watch an Ohio State football game next year.
So what the hell are we going to talk about on the podcast next year?
We'll talk about the SEC. I don't know. I'll become an SEC guy, I guess. I hate the SEC.
I know you do. For some reason, I don't know.
Well, they're crybaby bitches. That's why. Anyways, let's talk. What else did I even say we were going to talk about? That's what I wanted to talk about, and that took up 45 minutes.
Let's talk about football world. Let's talk about the rankings. What are your thoughts?
The rankings. Hell, Ohio State should be out. Kick them out. They suck.
No, they don't. Tennessee lost to Arkansas.
Tennessee should be out too. That's another thing. The 12-team playoff sucks. 12-team playoff sucks. Should have kept it at 4.
No, 14 playoffs is enough. That is not enough.
Keep it at 4. Should have kept it at 4.
No, because in last year there should have been more than 4. Because Georgia should have been in. Florida State, obviously, I know they weren't any good, but like
Florida State would have got in. They sucked.
Yeah, well, 12 teams may be too much. 8 teams, I think, is the number. I think that'd be my number. Would be 8.
Ohio State still sadly would have got in. So
would they?
They're number 6 right now.
They're number 6. So they would have been. Well, would they have fallen out because of the rankings? Because
no, we were the 8.
We would have been. Yeah, but the 8 would have been. Then it would have been Arizona State. So I think I had saved on the chopping block.
They would have had different. They would. No.
Yeah, Arizona State would jump from 12 to 8, so Ohio State would have been 9 technically.
Well, whoever lost the SEC championship game would probably be out.
You think loser of Georgia, Texas is out? You think Texas is out if they lose to Georgia?
But if Georgia loses, they're out. At least they should be.
I don't know if they will be.
And 8 teams?
Because Georgia already beat. 8 teams. No, I thought
8 teams. No, we're not talking. You were talking about 8 teams.
Oh yeah, that was just hypothetical. But if we're talking about 12-team playoffs,
12 teams. Georgia's still in.
Because they already beat. I mean, they already beat Texas. So like,
Georgia's in. No, Georgia's in. There should not be anybody who's already in the top 12 should probably not fall out unless SMU gets killed.
SMU. Yeah, if SMU loses to Clemson with SMU's strength of schedule and there are no top 25 wins, do they stay ahead of Bama?
If they get killed.
Okay, they lose by 3. You think SMU still stays ahead of Bama?
Yeah, they should be in. Bama's got 3 losses. And they didn't make it to a conference championship game. That's the thing. They said they're not going to punish conference people playing for the conference championship, which is probably bullshit because they're full of shit anyways. The committee sucks.
Winning a conference championship boggles my. It's how bad the ACC is.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This whole conference champions getting passes in top 5 conference championships, it sucks. If it was the 12 best teams, I would say, okay, I like it.
Top 4 get a bye. That's how it should be. Because there's no reason that Boise State should get a bye. I'm sorry, but they shouldn't. I think they're a good team. Good for them for their season. Ashton Genty's awesome. He should win the Heisman.
There's no reason the ACC champ should get a bye either.
Ooh. Unless SMU beats that. If SMU's that good, they should beat the hell out of Clemson. They should beat Clemson by 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Because they haven't beaten anybody, and their only good game was BYU, and they lost. I get it was week 2, but still, that's their only real game. They lost. I mean, they're fast. They are. They're fun. They're a little fun to watch, but I think they're going to beat Clemson. I do. But South Carolina, they're the hottest team in the country right now. They are the hottest team in the country. But Sellers gets hurt against LSU. They lose to LSU. They play like crap against Ole Miss. They lose to Ole Miss. And they lost a heartbreaker to Bama. So you can't put them ahead of Ole Miss or Bama. And people are complaining about that. But that's why you play the games. That's head-to-head. They can't go ahead of Ole Miss or Bama if they lost to them. I get it. They're hot. And I think they're probably maybe one of the best 12 teams. But you can't put them ahead. I think they're better than Miami. I think Miami should fall back because Miami stinks. That is BS that Miami is 12.
That's like people are like, well, Miami's only got 2 losses. I think Booger McFarland was on there. Miami's only got 2 losses. Blah, blah, blah. They suck.
They beat nobody, and they lost to Syracuse because they gave up a crap ton of points. And they lost to Georgia Tech because they can't stop anybody. And they couldn't score against Georgia Tech, and that's why they lost because they don't score, they don't win.
They suck. They're not good. They're not a good football team. They can score.
They can score. Their offense is fun to watch. They got playmakers. Cam Ward's a dog. And people are mad about Bama. Well, Bama's the 3 lost teams are the best team.
Ole Miss fans are mad. Well, there's no head-to-head. There's no head-to-head there for us to.
And you lost to Kentucky, Florida, and LSU. Mm-hmm. That's your own damn fault.
Yeah,
that's your own fault. You lost Kentucky at home. They stink. They're 4-8. Louisville just beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your own fault. Florida, they're playing well right now. You still lost to them. You're going to tell me you're a top 12 team? You lost to Florida? I get it. They're playing better than what their record shows. You still lost to them.
Well, that's why Bama's ahead of them because Bama does have 2 bad losses in Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. Those are bad losses.
At least Vandy played some good teams close. That did happen.
But
not great. They played some good teams close other than Bama.
But their other losses to number 7 Tennessee
by 7.
That was a close game in Tennessee.
And Oklahoma lost awful. I still don't understand what happened to that. But then they play Auburn at home, the Iron Bowl. Mm-hmm. Auburn's not great, but Auburn beat Texas A&M.
Yep.
And then they beat the brakes off of Auburn. Milroe ran the ball. He looked great. If Milroe runs the ball, Alabama's a different team. If Milroe doesn't run the ball, they stink. I don't understand. It's like the Ravens. That's how the Ravens are. If Lamar runs the ball, they score points. If he doesn't, they don't score. That's why he didn't run against the Eagles. They couldn't score.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at any of the teams that are in the 12. Could the seeding be different? Sure. Well, no, I'm not mad at the top 11. I don't think the Big 12 champs should get in. Big 12 sucks. It's terrible. And whoever they play is gonna find out.
I mean, if Iowa State makes it in, are we kidding? Like, really?
Yeah.
They're gonna play probably Penn State or Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna go to. You tell me Arizona State's gonna go cross country to. Let's say Penn State loses by 7. So they're the 5. They stay ahead of Notre Dame. They're the 5 seed.
Well, do they stay ahead of Notre Dame though?
They have to. If you lose the number 1 team in the country by 7,
who knows? Who knows with the committee?
I don't see them Notre Dame jumping if they lose by a touchdown or less. Maybe even 10 or less. Yeah, how good that 10 or less is. But either way, let's say Penn State gets the night game. They give Penn State a whiteout playoff game, which would be awesome. It'd be great for
Arizona State comes in.
Arizona State flies cross country in Happy Valley in late December at night, and it's 28 degrees. You tell me Arizona State's gonna put up a fight? Hell no. I think James Franklin doesn't win big games. He's gonna get his playoff win because he's gonna play Boise State the next week in the Fiesta Bowl, or Rose Bowl, or something. He's gonna beat them, and they're gonna be in the semifinal. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, James Franklin!" Ooh. No, Penn State stinks. James Franklin stinks.
Yeah, the buys, and the automatic bids, they suck. It needs to be the 12 best teams. Rank them 1 through 12. Whoever's 1 through 12,
semifinal basically, because they don't reseed. Which I think they're going to change that next year because everybody's pissed about it, as they should be. Tell me like Oregon's going to have to play potentially Georgia in the second round. They get a bye, but they get Georgia come to town while Penn State they don't have a bye, but they get a home field advantage, and then they get to go play Boise State or something.
State,
like
at a neutral site, yeah.
You should reseed. It's stupid.
Yeah, reseeding at least would fix some of the problem, but Arizona State still shouldn't get in.
Iowa State shouldn't get in if they somehow pull it out.
Yeah.
If UNLV
the Big 12 winner should not be in.
If UNLV upsets Boise State somehow Friday night, they shouldn't get in. They lost to Syracuse too.
If UNLV gets in, that's just we're just doing shit that shouldn't be happening.
I mean, UNLV, remember UNLV's scandal at the beginning of the year? Not scandal, but like the kid transferred because he didn't get his NIL money. Now look at them. They're all right there. They won win. They're in the playoff.
That's UNLV will get dog walked by whoever they played if they won.
I mean, are we kidding? Like, you're telling me you can't put Ole Miss, South Carolina in, but you can put UNLV in? I get it, the conference champion. Who gives a damn?
I don't.
Put the top 12 in. If a group of 5 team makes the top 12, good for them. Boise State's in the top 12 right now, so they'd be in. Fine, whatever. But you can't tell me they can just get a free ride because they won their conference. Who cares? It's Mountain West.
It's the Mountain West, dude. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the games, the conference championship games, the ones that actually matter. We're not going to talk about like. Well, shout out to the MAC because OU's in it in their battle of the bricks, and they're going to get them this time. OU's going to be the MAC champs. 10-3 season, I think, was what it would put them at. That'd be sweet. But
they lost the year, right?
They lost to them earlier this year. I think the spread's like 3.5. Miami's favored, so in Detroit.
Yeah.
I think the Bobbies are going to pull it out, man. I think the Bobbies are going to get the win. I'll be watching. Hell, it's not like
I'll be watching games on that time too.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching both of them, I guess. But hopefully the Bobbies win it. That'd be the first MAC championship since 1968. Little fun fact for you.
Recently though, haven't they?
Huh?
They've played in a couple MAC championships, haven't they? Recently,
they played, but they haven't won it. So hopefully they pull it out. Roll Bobbies, man. I got the Bobbies winning. That's our first pick for the championship games this weekend. Go Bobbies.
I'm sorry, I hope they win, but I think I'll pick Miami. They kind of dominated the last game, I think. So,
all right, let's talk about the SEC. This could be an interesting game. Let's see what Sark and the boys got. Let's see if they can get a little redemption. Where's that game being played at?
Atlanta, where it's always at. So Georgia gets kind of a home field. But that doesn't matter. Georgia went to Austin and beat the brakes off from last time. So, but I don't think Texas was fully healthy last game.
No, Quinn was not fully healthy. I think he's pretty healthy now. Obviously, his ankle's probably still a little bummed, but I mean he's going to have 2 weeks since the injury, so I mean he should be pretty healthy.
He didn't look terrible Saturday night against Texas A&M. If we talk about that environment, though, I know Texas A&M played like crap, but like
that place was rocking.
Awesome. The ESPN did a great job with that intro. They let the crowd do all of they just they had the lyrics on the screen. It was awesome. I thought it was awesome.
Yep.
And Texas A&M laid an egg. Besides the pick six, they laid an egg. But is Texas defense that good? Because if their Texas defense that good, they can stop Georgia. They can stop Carson Beck for a half, and they can put up 17 points. I get it, Georgia's second half team, and they come out of nowhere, but like.
Well, and I like the little wrinkle that Texas has put in with Arch Manning, because it's not like the wrinkle with that team up north, because Arch Manning can actually throw the ball. So say they bring him in, against Georgia, and they're like, oh, it's a run, it's a run, and then he Arch Manning can throw a dime right over their head.
Georgia has to use time to game plan for it, and Texas can usually run it or not. It's like I was watching. It's with the Steelers. I was watching Ben Roethlisberger's podcast. He's talking about just the Justin. Steelers run the Justin Fields package here and there, and they use it to win the game on Sunday. They use it to get that last 4 yards to clinch against the Bengals. But teams have to game plan for it now. They have to game plan for Fields to either throw it or run it or come in or not. So that takes time out of their game plan for the rest of the week, just so they can plan for that, just in case. They don't know if it's going to happen or not, but they just have to game plan for it. That just takes time out of other important things that they could be game planning for. So I like it. And obviously we saw what a running quarterback could do against Georgia. Georgia with Haynes King. Is Georgia, licking their wounds after that game? Are they like, man, like we just almost blew it?
Well, that's another thing. Think about that. They played 8 overtimes, and now they're playing again on Saturday. I mean, some of those guys could be roughed up.
They got an extra day off though. They played Friday night.
That's true, but they still could be roughed up. I mean,
could be. They could. I mean, I don't know. They're playing for a conference championship.
Yeah,
you're playing for a bye.
And that's the thing. Like, Arch can run. So if they do run that package out there, we saw Arch can run.
Arch can fly. He's fast. I don't know. I think it's tough. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a tough pick. Like, I think Georgia's, I believe for some reason, I just can't ever count Georgia out because it's Kirby Smart and they're Georgia. But I think Texas is going to win it. I do. I think Texas is going to win their SEC championship. I'm going to go from 1 year winning the Big 12 to next year winning the SEC. Screw it. I'm taking maybe. Go Horns.
Okay, baby. I got the horns. I got the horns too. Let's move on to the highest ranked matchup, the Big Ten championship. Number 1 Oregon versus number 3 Penn State.
Penn State being 3. I mean, they lost to Ohio State. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of weird to think that Ohio State beat them. Ohio State out-physicaled them, really. But it's Penn State. That's why. Because Penn State's not that physical. Because it's James Franklin.
Yep.
And you know who's physical? Oregon. I mean, did you see Dan Lanning's halftime speech where he smashed the Washington helmet? Dude, I was ready to go out there and put on some pads again. That was awesome. I love Dan Lanning. Oregon's a Big Ten rival now, but who cares? Dan Lanning is awesome. And you want to talk about toughness first week? Oh my gosh. I don't care what the spread says. I don't care what the predictors say. I think Oregon wins 35-20. I think 35-30.
I think Oregon wins. I mean, it's not.
I don't. Touchdown to make it 22. I think 35-20 Oregon, and they just smash mouth football.
I don't think it's that hard of a choice. I think it's Oregon. We'll see.
If somehow he comes out and has a legacy game, then bet on him, I guess. But I think Dylan Gabriel is one of the most accurate passers in the country, and I think Oregon's going to pound the rock, and then they're going to hit their shots deep because they got good receivers.
Time will tell. Time will tell. It's coming on Saturday. We're going to find out.
CBS for the first time.
That'll be fun to watch. ACC championship game. We got Clemson and SMU. I don't know.
SMU is my pick. I think
SMU is my pick, but
actually, you know what? I'm going chaos. I think Dabo. He's been this game a lot. He's won it a lot. Clemson is going to be pissed off after last week. I don't think SMU's all that great. I think they're going to find out what it's like to play another ranked team, and they're going to lose. I think Clemson's going to win. My pick's Clemson. I don't want it to happen.
Not so fast.
I hate Clemson, and I hope actually SMU wins, but my pick is Clemson.
Not so fast.
Okay.
I got SMU.
Mustang head.
Not so fast. The Big 12. Yes, one of these teams is going to get in the playoff. I'm so excited. So excited for Arizona State or Iowa State to make it into the college football playoff.
Give me Colorado now.
Coach Prime's going to show up, take over.
Coach, yeah. I don't think I can pick. Arizona State's hot right now. Their coach is a fireball. Arizona State guy. I like Matt Campbell. I think Arizona State's just playing too good right now to lose. I think Iowa State's good for the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arizona State's just playing too good right now. I think they're going to keep the momentum, and Arizona State is going to find their way into the college football playoff.
Yep.
They were picked to finish to the bottom of the Big 12, and they're going to find their way to the college football playoff, Cinderella story, and then get beat by 30.
Yep. That's about how I see it. I think Arizona State's going to win, and they'll get throttled in the college football playoff. So we'll get to watch some of that.
Yes, I think they beat SMU because SMU lost to BYU, and Arizona State beat them.
Yeah. Mountain West, Boise State, UNLV. One of these teams gets in, and God, I hope it's Boise State.
I don't see UNLV stopping Genty. I don't see Boise State losing. They're just the best. They're the best team in the Mountain West. I think that's clear at this point. UNLV is having a good season, especially with all the drama that took on early in the year. But I don't see Boise losing. I think Boise wins.
I think Boise wins. I think Genty gets it done.
I think Genty rushes for 175.
Genty gets it done, and I think they win the game. And I've switched my Heisman. I think Genty should win.
I think Genty. Everybody has their Heisman moment. I think Genty has a Heisman game. He goes for 200 plus. This is my bold prediction. He goes for 220 plus, and he has one. He's a kind of like you remember the beast mode run in the playoffs where he broke like 9 tackles. I think he has one of those type of runs. Maybe not as great, but one of those type of runs, and that's his Heisman moment. He has 2 touchdowns, 220 plus, and an awesome 7+ tackle break run, and that's his Heisman moment, and that seals the deal for him. I don't care what anybody says. The odds are minus 300, minus 400 for Hunter. I don't care. Genty's my Heisman pick.
Like minus 3,000 or something.
That I said 100, minus 3,000. Yeah, it's insane.
I think Genty should win it. I'd love to see a running back win it. Like I said, we've talked about this before.
He's having an unprecedented running back season. If you look at his stats compared to the last 4 running backs that won it, he's so far ahead. Yeah. He played Oregon. Let's not forget that. He did play Oregon and ran. He put 3 touchdowns on Oregon.
Yeah, he put up close to 200 yards too, I think.
Yeah. And it's not like, everybody's like, oh, he has a ton of carries. He still averages 7 yards a carry. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think I would love to see him win it. I still wouldn't be mad either way. Obviously, it looks like Hunter's going to win it, so I won't be mad because obviously a quarterback should not win this year. But I think I want to see Genty win it now. And part of it is because Colorado sent out those cheesy ass things for Shador and Travis Hunter. Shador's not even in the conversation. Like, come on, Coach Prime. Like, Shador's not even in the conversation. I
think Shador's the best quarterback in the class right now. But like
right now, yeah. I think he'll be really good in the pro. I think he's a pro style quarterback.
Accurate. He is accurate, and he has 0 time to throw, and he has good receivers. In Colorado, like Travis Hunter obviously is Travis Hunter, but they have other good receivers. But he's accurate. He throws a pretty deep ball, and I think he will be good in the NFL as long as you give him the right. I don't even know if he needs it. He literally has no offensive linemen. They don't actually block anybody. Like if Colorado made the playoff, whoever they played, like let's say Colorado to play Tennessee with Tennessee's defensive line, they might have 12 sacks.
Yeah. And Shador would probably still throw for 300 yards because that's all they do.
Well, they can't run the ball.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Who are the other quarterbacks in that class? Quinn Ewers, obviously, and
Ewers may come back.
He could, I guess,
but I still think he's a better pro quarterback than Ewers. Aller could go. I don't know if he will.
Gabriel's in that class, I guess.
Gabriel, Ward, Milroe.
Yeah, Ward. Can Milroe leave?
Yeah, but I apparently talked to scouts, and they said he should probably go back.
Well, he should. He can't throw the
ball. I keep seeing him still projected. I keep seeing mocks where he gets projected first round of the Steelers. Absolutely not. I would Oh my gosh.
You'd be better to play Fields. Keep Fields. Play him.
Keep Russ.
Yeah.
Russ Cooks. 414 and 3 tutties.
Eventually, that's going to fall apart.
Shut up.
At some point.
Shut up.
I think the two best quarterbacks in the class are Shador and
Ward.
I'll say three. I'll say Shador, Ward, and then Ewers if he leaves.
I mean, that'd be my.
Those would be the top three.
I mean, Gabriel's been in college so long that I don't.
That's true.
I mean, I guess it worked for Bo Nix. Look what Bo Nix is doing. Because everybody, I mean, part of my thing is, I mean, you have to be in college that long. That's because no NFL team wants you. But it worked for Nix. It could work for Gabriel, I guess. Bo Nix is slinging it in Denver.
Sean Payton.
Yeah. Sean Payton's a great coach. Him and Russ don't work together, but him and Bo Nix do.
Well, that is all we're going to talk about because we just hooked Ryan Day.
I hope Ryan Day doesn't watch this. He'd be really upset.
Oh, yeah. Well, he can come talk to me about it. I'll tell him everything I just said to his face. He doesn't scare me. What is he, like 5'8"?
I think he's taller than 5'8". He was a college
quarterback. I'm just making shit up. I don't really care. I'm just telling you, I would say exactly what I just said to his face because I believe it, everything, wholeheartedly. I believe everything. Everything I said in this podcast about Ryan Day, I believe. I believe he's soft.
Clearly, you definitely believe you have strong opinions, and I value.
So, if there's one thing that the viewers should take away from this podcast, this episode of the podcast, is that Ryan Day should be fired, and if he's not fired, I hope he leaves. And I don't care about the buyout. Somebody will pay the buyout. Boosters will pay the buyout if Ross York says, hey, we're going to get rid of this guy and we're going to bring Vrabel or Meyer back. I mean, who would say no to that? Not me. So that should be your takeaway is Ryan Day should be fired or he should leave. And the college football playoff should be the top 12. Thank you for listening. Ryan Day sucks. Go Bucks. Still go Bucks. But thank you for watching.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.